We just spent over $10,000 on off-road LED pod lights to tell you guys which one LED chip pod light is best. In this video, we're going to be comparing the SSC1 from Diode, the Baja Designs single LED chip. We've got a product from Handster. We've also got the Rigid Ignite and of course the all-new Morimoto One Bang. Now with our testing, I wish it was as simple as this one's best or this one's best. However, a lot of these companies have a couple different beam patterns like spot, combo, wide, and flood. In today's video, we're gonna be testing all the beam patterns. A couple other things we're gonna look at is if it's got a good warranty. We're also gonna be measuring the lux with our digital lux meter. Then we're going to be converting it to Candela. All of our measurements will be taking 10 meters from the wall with our Konica T10 body lux meter. Now, what is Candela? Essentially, it's the proper way to describe the intensity of these pod lights to compare one to another. Another thing to note that all of our testing, these are fully saturated. That means they've been running for 30 minutes before we have taken any measurements. We're also gonna show you guys the price of each one of these. If you wanna see exactly how we tested in this video and compared each pod to one another, we made another video and it's in the link below. So click on that one if you wanna know further as to how we tested. Enough talking, let's get rolling. First thing I want to do is talk about these spot beam patterns. What I'm looking for in a spot beam pattern is an intense, tight hot spot right down the middle. If you're gonna get a spot pod light like this one, you need to be seeing as far down the road as possible. This is for when you're going super fast and you need to see as far as you can. First one I'm gonna show you guys on our light output wall is this from Diode, the SSC1. There is a sport version and a pro version. First thing I'm gonna do is the sport version. Now the Diode SSC1 Sport in the spot beam pattern, they do sell them in singles and in pairs. The pricing comes in at about $160 as of this video, and their claimed Candela is at 50,000. Now we did go ahead and test Candela as well and got our measurements. And in our test, we measured 42,900 Candela. I will admit, Diode is really close to our measurements as well. So their claimed Candela is very accurate. They also have an 8-year warranty. In our test, at 10 meters, we came in at 429 lux. Now Diode does have a yellow version like this. And their claimed Candela is 43,200. We measured 34,700, but it's still real close. Our measured lux was 347. But as you see with all of these different pods, you will learn that converting over to a yellow lens, you will lose a little bit of brightness. It's totally normal and you'll see it across the board. Now Diode does have a pro version, a more expensive version. Let's check that one out. These come in at around $220 as of this video, and their claimed Candela is at 23,000. The maximum lux that we've tested was 236. As you can see by the beam pattern, there's an extremely large hotspot with a crosshair in the middle. You probably can't see it so much on camera, but it does seem to be less bright. The funny thing is the sport version is brighter, which is the cheaper version of this. Not so much the case when we compare our two LED chips in another video. The Pro does have a yellow version as well, coming in at $220. The claimed Candela is at 18,000. And we measured 20,100 Candela, so in our testing, it was actually brighter than what Diode claims. Our measured lux was at 201. That's a win for Diode. Now the next pod light I want to show you guys is from Baja Designs. But first I want to tell you guys, at headlightrevolution.com, if you type in your year, make, and model, you'll see all sorts of these pod lights on there. The thing is, we test hundreds of different pod lights and then we grab the top ones like you see here, and that's what we put on our website because we don't want to sell you guys garbage. Okay, back to it. This is the Baja Designs. Now the Baja S1 with the spot lens only comes in white. It's not available in an amber beam pattern. The Baja S1 comes in at around $250. And they do advertise lumens. They have a lumen rating of 2,320. However, they do not show Candela, which is really interesting from Baja Designs. They do have a lifetime warranty though, so this is the first one with a lifetime warranty. That is a win for Baja. Since we did go ahead and test all of these, in our testing we measured the Candela and we noticed that it was 17,200, which converted over to lux at 10 meters is 172 lux. Compare that to the 42,900 measured Candela from Diode Sport, and you'll notice that that is not too high. So far, I gotta say that Diode is winning this test. Let's check out Handster. Now I know that I'm trying to compare all of the spot beam patterns right now, and to be honest, even on their website, they don't know what they are. So we're just gonna test it. They don't advertise their Candela, and they only come in white. They don't have an amber or yellow. And the pricing is still at $59. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not going to buy a pod light if it doesn't have a good warranty, especially when you're driving around in the mud, the snow, the rain, the sleet. The last thing you want is something without a warranty. But also, check this out. On the backside, it's just bare wires. This does not scream waterproof by any means. This is the last thing you want. It's a bare black wire and a red wire, positive and negative. Last thing you want. So make sure that you have a good waterproof connection. Otherwise, your product's just gonna fail, no matter how good the LED is. The Baja Designs had a good connector. Diode Dynamics also has a really good Deutsch connector. It's waterproof. Like I said, they don't show their Candela, but we did read it at 9,450. So far it is the lowest measured Candela rating of any of these pods. The maximum lux was 94. Now let's keep moving. The next one we're gonna show you guys is the Rigid Ignite. The Rigid Ignite comes in around $180. And they do advertise their lumens as well. They show 1,000 lumens. They don't show a claimed Candela on the Ignite spot, but they do have a warranty of lifetime. Baja Designs is currently the only other one with a lifetime warranty that we've shown you so far. We measured the Candela at 10,800, better than Handster, but still worse than the Baja Designs and the Diode Dynamics when it comes to brightness. Now I'm sure by now you're familiar with the Morimoto 4-banger that has two different power levels, an HXB, which is their top dog, and the NCS, which is their entry-level pod. However, with the 1-bangers, there is only the HXB, so they only give you guys their top dog, best performing pod light. Let's see how this spot beam pattern performs. The Morimoto 1-banger comes in at $185. They have a claimed Candela of 85,000. So the claimed Candela is higher than any other claimed Candela that we have shown you guys so far. The Morimoto 1-banger also has a lifetime warranty. So besides the cheap Handster, the only product that doesn't have a lifetime warranty is the Diode Dynamics product at 8 years. And like I said, we measured all the Candela on our own, and in our measurements, we actually got 93,000 Candela. So the 85,000 claimed Candela from Morimoto was actually conservative. At 10 meters, we got 930 maximum lux. As you can see by the beam pattern, this is also the most controlled beam pattern that I have seen yet. It's got the tolerance box. Inside the tolerance box, you'll see that hotspot with the hotspot control. A really good option if you wanted a spot beam pattern out of one of these little pods. The Morimoto 1-banger HXB also comes with a yellow beam pattern, and here's what it looks like with the spot pod. Still coming in around $185 with the claimed Candela of 52,500. Still that lifetime warranty, and we measured 61,500. So still their claimed Candela is pretty conservative. We measured 615 lux in our test. Now that's it for the spot beam patterns. I'll tell you my opinions at the very end of this video, but let's move on to the flood beam pattern. Arguably the most important beam pattern when it comes to these little pods, because these are real versatile pods. They can get put to your roof rack. You can have them on the side of your vehicle, maybe mounted to a metal bumper. They are very useful for lighting up the campsite, the side of your vehicles, or your work area. First one again, we're gonna start with is the Diode Dynamics SSC1. Let's go to the Sport first. This is what the flood beam pattern looks like from the SSC1 Sport. It comes in around $160, and they have a claimed Candela of 400. They still have a warranty of 8 years, and when we tested, we got 460 measured Candela. So their claim is a little bit conservative as well. It's still a really good flood beam pattern, if I had to say so myself. It's super wide. If you're looking at the wall, it does hit from wall to wall, but it doesn't show the whole story. So when you zoom in to about 5 feet from the wall, you get this beam pattern, and it looks pretty cool. It's massive. This is what you want in a flood beam pattern. The cool part is the flood also comes in a yellow version. So if you want to illuminate the work area with the yellow pod light, here you go. They have 380 for claimed Candela. That's not that much less than the white version, so they don't lose a lot of light here. We measured 390, so almost spot on for the Candela. And in our testing, we only measured 3.9 lux. Like I said, generally the yellow beam pattern will be less bright. Now let's check out their more expensive SSC1 Pro version. Still coming in at $220 compared to $160 from their Sport. They have a claimed Candela of 925. Their 8-year warranty still applies, and we measured 1,000 Candela. So we measured higher than their claims. And the lux we recorded at 10 meters is 10. Let's move on to the yellow version. This is what their flood beam pattern looks like. Still around $220. Claim Candela of $780 with an 8-year warranty. We measured 840 Candela, and in our test at 10 meters, we measured 8.4 lux. Now let's move on to the Baja S1. They call this the work/scene light, but essentially it's just a flood beam pattern, so I'm gonna group it with all of these. Let's see how this performs. Here's the Baja S1. It only comes in white. It does not have a yellow or amber version when it comes to the flood beam pattern. The Baja S1 comes in at around $250. They have a lumen rating of 2,320. They don't show a claim Candela on their website as of what I can see, but they do have a lifetime warranty. Like I said, we tested all of these, and our measured Candela comes in at 2,250. That is over twice as bright as the Dow Dynamics SSC1 Pro. At 10 meters, we measured 22.5 lux. So let's keep moving on. The Handster just doesn't seem to have a flood beam pattern. It doesn't look like the shape of a flood beam pattern, so we're gonna just cancel that altogether. Do not use Handster if you want a flood beam pattern. Now, Rigid Ignite does have a flood beam pattern, but in my opinion, their diffused lens is more of a flood beam pattern than their flood beam pattern. I know it's really confusing, that's why we're doing all of these tests to make sure that everything is in order so that you guys buy what you need to buy instead of buying something you didn't expect. So, first let's start with the Ignite Flood and we'll go from there. The Rigid Ignite Flood comes in at around $90. They have lumens advertised at 1,000. They don't show a claim Candela, but in our testing we measured 7,020 Candela. And at 10 meters, that converts over to 70.2 lux. As you can see, when it comes to Candela and lux, that is extremely, extremely bright. However, this is a cone shape. It doesn't hit the side of our walls in our studio. It is not a very big beam pattern. That means when you actually put this on your vehicle and you're trying to set up your campsite, you're only gonna see half of it. It's not wide enough, it's not usable. Just because it's bright in one area doesn't mean it's going to be a useful flood beam pattern. Now here's their diffuse pattern, and as you can see, it was a little bit bigger of a beam pattern, a little more flood. They call this one diffused. They show 1,000 lumens, but they do not have a claim Candela. In our testing, we measured 1,050, so that's almost 7 times less bright than the flood, but arguably more usable. At 10 meters, we measured 10.5 lux. Now let's move on to the Morimoto one-banger flood beam pattern, the HXB in the white lens first. They all come in around the same price at around $185. Their claim Candela is at $650 with a lifetime warranty. In our testing, we measured 760 Candela, which means that our testing today was brighter than what they had claimed, which is really good. Our measured Candela was at 760, so higher than they claimed, but still I think we can do a little bit better. It's brighter than some, but not nearly the brightest. Not as bright as Baja, not as bright as Diode Dynamics. We measured at 10 meters, 7.6 maximum lux. Now, I did, as I put this closer to the wall, measure the width, and the width of this one did come out to be the widest. So it is gonna be very usable outside. However, it's not very tall. I wish I could see just a little bit more height out of this floodlight beam pattern. Like I said, these do have a yellow beam pattern, around $185. They have a claim Candela of $400 with their lifetime warranty. We measured 480 Candela in our test. At 10 meters from the wall, that was 4.8 maximum lux. This is the widest and tallest beam pattern that I've seen out of all of these. Now let's dive into a beam pattern that a lot of you guys in the comments are very passionate about, the wide beam patterns. Which one of these are best? Let's figure that out. Full disclosure, there is a wide beam pattern, and if you're gonna be using these for on-street use, you need the SAE Fog pod light or the SAE Wide pod light. Starting with the SSC1 Sport, they come in around $160 with a claim Candela of $2,500. Still the 8-year warranty. In our testing, we measured 2,850 Candela. At 10 meters, that's 28.5. As you can see on the wall, there's a huge rectangular shape similar to what you would find in a flood beam pattern. At first glance, this looks like a floodlight because there's light everywhere, but then you have the hotspot in the middle. I will say that if you're driving in the woods, this is a pretty good beam pattern. This is probably what you should look for in a wide beam pattern. I don't want to go too in depth of how I tested these, but I just want to assure you guys that the testing for the SAE beam patterns is a lot different than testing just the HV point of all of these. So if you want to learn the details of how we specifically tested this pod light, be sure to watch the video of how we tested. It's very important. We do go in depth. We want to make sure that what they say is true. It's an SAE fog pod light. Let's show you what it looks like. Like I said, the SSC1 SAE fog is its own pod light, so you can't just change over the lens. Keep that in mind. They come in at $240. I do not see a claim Candela on their website. They do have an 8-year warranty. The measured Candela that we got, however, was about 6,600. That's 66 lux at 10 meters. But as you can see, it is extremely wide. This is one of the widest beam patterns you're going to see out of all of these single LED pod lights. Let's just show you guys the yellow beam pattern. They come in at $240. They do have an 8-year warranty, and in our testing, we measured 4,500 Candela. At 10 meters, using the digital lux meter, we got 45. Moving on, let's check out the wide beam pattern of the Baja designs. The Baja S1 comes in at around $250. Their lumen rating was 2,320. They don't show a claim Candela. Like I said, they do have a lifetime warranty, and we measured 8,050 Candela. At 10 meters from the wall, that's 80.5 lux. That measured Candela is actually brighter than the previous one we just saw from Diode. Now Baja does have an amber version of this same wide lens. Still at the same price, they advertise the lumens of 2,375 with a lifetime warranty, and we measured 7,900 Candela or 79 lux at 10 meters. Now, if you're looking to get a rigid in a wide beam pattern, it's just not possible. They do not sell them, so let's move on over to the Morimoto one banger in the SAE wide beam pattern. They have the same price at around $185 as the rest of their pod lights in the one banger. They have a 6,750 claim Candela, still that lifetime warranty, and in our testing, the measured Candela that we got was 7,800 or 78 lux from 10 meters from the wall. Like I said, Morimoto does have a yellow version of the SAE wide as well. Same price at $185. They have a 5,500 claim Candela lifetime warranty. Again, I don't want to bore you guys with this test. I just want to show you the straight facts of all of these products so that you guys can make an informed decision when you're purchasing. Make sure to go to headlightrevolution.com, type in your year, make, and model to see all the pod lights that we have on our website. Next up, we're gonna show you guys the combo beam patterns, and I wanna let you guys know, if you're buying these little pods, a lot of companies out there will not make a lens that's a combo beam pattern. So the only company out of all of these that would make a combo beam pattern is Morimoto. Let me show you the Morimoto one banger in the combo beam pattern. This is what it looks like on the wall. It's a pretty decent beam pattern, as you can see. It's definitely something that gives you that punch of range down the road. This is what you need if you're gonna be flying down the woods fast. They have a claim Candela of 29,000 with a lifetime warranty. And in our test, we measured 34,000 Candela. That's extremely bright. And from 10 meters away from the wall with our digital lux meter, we measured 340 lux. These ones do have a yellow version as well, coming in around $185. They claim to have 19,900 Candela with a lifetime warranty. Our measured Candela was around 23,500, and our lux at 10 meters was 235. So what does that mean for you and I at home when we're trying to buy an off-road LED pod light? Which one is best in our opinions after all of the testing and taking the data into account? If you're gonna base your opinion off of the warranty alone, I would recommend the Baja Designs, the Rigid Ignite, or the Morimoto one banger because they all have a lifetime warranty. The other one that doesn't is Handster. Terrible, I would not recommend that. And Diode only has an 8-year warranty. What about price? In our testing here today, the Baja Designs was the most expensive, and it wasn't actually the brightest, nor did it always have the best beam pattern. So if you were going off of price alone and you wanted a good price, I would go more so the Morimoto or the Diode. They're about the middle price range, especially if you get that Sport coming in at around $160. It's a pretty good price. These all Morimoto products that we showed you today come in around $185. So if we're basing off a price, these are pretty good. You get the best bang for your buck with these products. What about the beam patterns? Starting with the spot beam pattern. Which one would I say is the best? If we are basing our opinions off of Candela, the Morimoto one banger wins this shootout at a claimed 85,000 Candela. We tested even higher than that. However, the second best competitor was the Diode Dynamics SSC1 Sport. It came in at 50,000 Candela. 50,000 Candela for one of these little pod lights is outrageous. And the fact that the claimed Candela and what we recorded was over 85,000 for the one banger, that's a huge win for the spot beam pattern in the one banger. I also find it interesting that the Diode Dynamics Sport, the entry-level pod, is brighter than their Pro. In my opinion, that does not make sense. What about the flood beam pattern? What would I recommend? Well, the Diode Dynamics SSC1 Pro flood has the highest Candela rating as far as what we can find. Remember, the Baja Designs did not have a Candela rating on their website. However, in our testing in our own facility, we measured 2,250 Candela coming out of the Baja Designs. That means that within our testing, the Baja Designs floodlight, that's actually twice as bright as the second leading flood beam pattern from Diode Dynamics. Now, what about the wide beam pattern? Which one would I say is best? Out of all of these pod lights, if we're comparing the wide beam pattern, not the SAE wide or the SAE fog, but just the wide, if you're looking at Candela, the Baja Designs is the brightest wide beam pattern. If you want to compare the SAE wide from Morimoto and the SAE fog from Diode Dynamics, as far as Candela goes, Morimoto takes the cake. Not to say that the SAE fog from Diode Dynamics is bad, because look, the width is there. It is a bit wider than the Morimoto one banger SAE wide. However, the intensity of the width is not nearly as bright as the intensity of the width from the one banger. And look at the one banger. You got that foreground light, that gradient of light that goes from really bright to dim going down is intentional. That's going to give you much more foreground and be more usable if you're using this in a fog-like application. If we're trying to find the best combo beam pattern, well, there is no competition. Morimoto is the only one that offers a combo beam pattern out of all of these single LED chips. So there you go. After all of this testing, these are our opinions, these are our findings. If you want to buy off-road LED pod lights, go to headlightrevolution.com, type in your year, make, and model, and you'll see everything tested there.